Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nettuno, Fabio speaking, making this third video. I'm going to make this video a little more didactic, okay? I made the first two where I showed monthly profits, and people had a lot of questions. I mean, there were a lot of people asking, how do you do this? How do you do that? Etc. I had some long conversations on Facebook, but I didn't give great explanations because it's very hard to explain things about trade to people who are just starting out. I mean, you can give some ideas, but it's always a complicated endeavor being able to teach something useful in a Facebook conversation. So, I'm going to make this video now where I'm going to show the method which I created my bankroll. I used this method 3 years ago when I started out, and that's how I got from a bankroll of 50, 100 euros to 1,000, 1K. 1K in Brazil, same thing. So that's how I got to 1,000. Let's say in bankroll, okay? And also, that's how I got to 10,000 in bankroll. Then I modified my tradings, doing it differently. So I'm going to rewind things a little and explain the method that I used 3 years ago, which I'm going to use again now. It is a very simple method, okay? A bankroll management method. It's not a method of, well, I'm not going to talk about entries or about the techniques I use. I'm just going to talk about bankroll management. And what's interesting about this method? Well, for starters, it's good for the greed factor. It takes the greed out of trade. See, I had this problem. I had a lot of problems with greed. I always thought that I can earn a little bit more here, a little bit more there. And many times, I had big greens turn into big reds because of greed. I was able to identify this over time, and it helped me to control and to eventually solve this problem. The second important factor that I see with this method is the emotional issue. There is no emotional issue with it. It's simple and raw. There's not much to get excited about. Also, the more emotion that you have in trade, the less profit that you will have. Why be emotional or get excited here? It's not the place for that. Try going to an amusement park, okay? We're not going to ride on a roller coaster here. We do this to make money, not to get excited. So, if you're feeling a high level of emotion or excitement, you're failing the test. A third important point, which also helps a lot, is the way that STEC gradually increases. It messes with the exponential interest, and it's going to end up increasing your STEC as the method goes on. I realize that for those who intend to take this a little bit more seriously, it's fundamental to raise your STEC, okay? Maybe the sound is a little out of sync with the video, but it's okay, just stare at my face and it'll be alright. But I'm going to explain what this method is, okay? So we have a spreadsheet here. Well, folks, let's get to it. The method consists of 5 cycles, okay, with an initial bankroll of 100. Now, if you don't have the initial bankroll of 100, you can use the amount that you have for your initial bankroll, be it 50, 500, etc. The table will automatically calculate everything for you, okay? Let's use a bankroll of 100 as a reference because it makes our calculations easier. The first cycle is the most delicate one, so to speak, because you'll be working with 100% of your bankroll. And if there's any red in this cycle, you'll feel it more and it'll set you back a lot. Let me explain the table, okay? We have the starting bankroll of 100 here, right? In column B, it is our working bankroll that we will always use 100%, and this is our theoretical bankroll if it achieves its objective. If not, you won't be able to round out the cent decimals, so the end amount will always be a little different. The objective is the working bankroll, okay? And we will always use it seeking the goal of the theoretical bankroll. Even if we use the working bankroll, our goal is the theoretical bankroll. Here we're just going to fill in the profits, leave it here just to show that we have 2 ballots and percentage targets on the job target. Okay, curiosity is also what we get from this theoretical bankroll. If we achieve that here, for example, 20% more and up to 36% more profit if we reach this objective, right? Our bankroll, after all, our residual, is the difference between your profit and the goal, right? So we have a positive residual total sum that is low. Our goal in each trade starts with the first trade at 5% and it decreases with each trade. Oops, sorry, I dropped this. So it decreases with each trade. You see there that last one, the 20-second trade is at 2.94% of the target with only one trade left. Someone watching this will surely say, man, 5% is a lot, right? Someone will say that it's a little. But I'll say that it's entirely possible and feasible. It's not an impossible objective, okay? It is something that must be done calmly and with patience without haste, okay? So reduce by 2.5% with each trade, as it is here on the side. Later, if you want, you can change it. Feel free. So I will make this worksheet available, and we will do cycle 1. So let's do entry by entry trade, so on and so forth. At some point, you will be making an entry, and you will see that you're closing in on your goal, but you also see that you can earn more money. This will happen. The opposition will have to have a lot of value. When that happens, make the objective. Let's say close your position, and then you can see the value. Open the position again. Don't accumulate without closing the position. Close it, open it again, and the 3 will continue until reaching the goal of 231. So that is the purpose of the cycle, right? We reach 231. We have it down here. I mentioned the trade cycle 1 guidelines, right? 100%, and we will stop with 130% of the profit. That is, with a bankroll of 230, right? And we will make a withdrawal of 130 euros or dollars, etc. And let's work again on cycle 2 with the bankroll of 100. Cycle 2 is exactly identical to the first one, okay? When we complete cycle 2, the goal is to mark that with a red line. In case you don't earn anything, you will reach 22 entries. It is very likely that you will reach this goal sooner, and it will no longer be an important thing to you. For this method to be successful, you have to always have positions in favor of time, okay? Never open positions against time. That is, back will always go to the winning team and lay to the team that is not winning. Don't make positions against time. Don't make positions that you need. That's another type of trading. It doesn't fit here because it's something else entirely that we're doing. If you're starting out, use methods, always with time in your favor. If you want to use under, over, etc., it's okay. We'll open it in another spreadsheet and do everything new with under and over. Okay, so we're done with cycle 2. We're going to do another 80, cash out, and let's say there are 3 of us doing a cycle that starts with 150 in bankroll. Okay, and soon there's a red that we'll get, but we're going to have a red of 100. For example, we set a goal against the opposition that is going to happen. I mean, it's very likely to happen, but the 5 cycles where I didn't get any red, well, that's rare. When this happens, what do I do? For example, okay, I had a red of 100. I open a new spreadsheet here, I duplicate it, and I pass the moment that I change the goal to 10%, okay? Do you follow? If I have bankroll left here in this circle, let's say that I still have 70 left. I start doing it with the 70 euros that I have left until I reach my loss of 100, okay? If it's an example, I'm not giving up. So, I'm going to trade until I get to 170. That would be 11 trades, right? If my red is 100% of the bankroll in the cycle and I go down to 0, what do? I deposit my withdrawals. That is, in the case of the cycle, if I miss the entire cycle 3, I will deposit 210 and make the recovery with 210 until I reach my goal. I lost 170. I'm going to use the 210 to get to 170, right? Let's say that I get another red and lose the 210. Well, here comes another important factor. My red was neither 170 nor 210. My loss is 100 because my initial bankroll was 100. Understand this method? Okay? The maximum loss will always be your initial bankroll of the cycle, even if financially it is different. But the tennis player lost a cycle. He lost his method, closed and erased everything, and just started another one. It's like that. Don't think much about that red. It has no value. It's not the end of the world getting a red. You have to have a proactive attitude, as we say. And so we will recover from this. Do cycle 4, do cycle 5, and if you finish the 5 cycles, you'll end up with a bankroll of 1,075. You will have a little bit more than the 1,000 guys. Okay? This is entirely possible using the maximum target of 5%, but this must be done calmly and without haste, preferably with games that you are actually watching, and always in favor of time. Time must always be in your favor. Remember, back is the team that is winning, and lay is the team that is not winning. Okay? So don't try to enter against time. It won't work. And calmly, guys, that's the idea. That was the method that I used to build a bankroll, and it worked great for me. Okay? So I hope that someone can also use this method and make a nice profit. So what I'll do, I'll leave the spreadsheet here in the description of the video, and I wish everyone a good afternoon, and anyone that can give us a like on Facebook, I would greatly appreciate it. And I also wanted to give a special hug, a special shout out to the backlay people, the whole backlay gang. So I won't say any names, because if I say names, I will surely forget a lot of people, okay? But a nice hug and shout out to everyone, and I wish everyone a good green, okay? No red.